What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler and today I'm counting down my top 10 most anticipated upcoming Jordans. Thanks so much for tuning in today, guys. Make sure to give me a follow on Instagram and on Twitter at @RealSethFowler. Also, if you want to check out my Twitch where I do a lot of gaming live streaming, it's just Seth Fowler. But now that we've got all that out of the way, let's get into it. So guys, I actually filmed a different version of this video last week before I went to the Jordan Brand Future of Flight event in LA. And the reason I'm refilming this video is because after I went to that event, there was a lot of shoes from that event that I really wanted to put on the list, so the list was kind of outdated. Also, if you haven't checked out my vlog of the event, make sure to do that. It's one of my favorite videos that I've made in a long time. I'm really stoked on how it came out. I'll leave a link to that vlog at the top of the screen. Also, this week I ended up picking up the #1 shoe on that list, and since I already bought the shoe, it's not really anticipated for me anymore because I actually own the shoe, so I had to take it off the list. But because it is such an excellent shoe, I think it has shoe of the year potential, no question. And like I said when I previously recorded this video, it was #1 on the list. I made it an honorable mention. And for those of you guys who haven't figured out what the shoe is yet, here it is, the Air Jordan 3 Black Cement 2018. This is such a great shoe. The color blocking is amazing. The history behind the shoe itself is pretty amazing as well, to be honest. The 2018 version of the shoe has the Nike Air branding, so if you're an OG head, you're gonna love this. It's also a remastered Jordan, so the materials are a lot nicer than a lot of previous Jordans that have dropped. And overall, it's one of the best releases of the year, no question. If you want to learn more about this shoe, I just did a review a couple days ago. The link will be at the top of the screen. It's worth checking out. This shoe was a must cop for me, and it's probably gonna be a double up situation. But with the honorable mention out of the way, let's get into the list. Starting off at a fitting number 10, it's the I'm Back Air Jordan 10s. In my opinion, this is one of the cleanest Air Jordan 10s to release in a really long time. I love the shoe because of the simple color blocking. I think you can never really go wrong with white and black. It's not overdone, it's not oversimplified, it's like the perfect balance. I mean, honestly, it even kind of looks like the yin and yang of sneakers. You've also got the red embroidery on the heel tab, which gives it a little bit of a pop, which I think is fire. This shoe might not be a must cop for me, but if I can find it for a good price, I'll probably pick it up. Coming in at number 9, it's the rumored Cool Gray 11 Lows. I had a pair of Cool Gray 11s a couple years ago, and I loved that shoe. Also, funny story, back when I used to do custom sneakers, I did a couple Cool Gray 11 Lows because a lot of people wanted them, and they came out really, really nice. I mean, not to pump up my own ego, I think the custom came out fine, but the colorway was really, really clean. Recently, I've passed on a lot of the 11 Lows that have dropped, but if this shoe drops, I'll probably have to grab it. Coming in at number 8, it's the gold toe ones. Now obviously this is a pair of the top 3 ones because obviously the gold toe ones haven't dropped yet. But what's interesting is that the gold toe ones are going to be this exact colorway. Or should I say the exact colorway of the right side of the shoe. So the top 3 ones are sort of a what the take on the Air Jordan 1s, which means each side is different. But the interesting thing about the gold toes is that the lateral side and medial side won't be exactly the same. Each gold toe one will look exactly like the right side of the top 3 ones. So on the lateral side you sort of have a black toe colorway with the gold on the heel, the black and white in the midfoot, and then also the gold in the toe. But on the medial side, you'll have more of a bread or royal blocking with gold on the heel and then primarily black throughout the rest of the midfoot. The outsole will of course be black on both sides and the tongue will be black as well. I mean, honestly, it's very, very similar to the top 3 ones. I misread the UK sizing on N's website, so I got a pair that's half size too big. I mean, it's not that I can't wear it, but I'd love to have a pair that's in my size to really rock. And also, to be completely honest, I'm kind of afraid to wear these because I'm afraid they're gonna crease, and if I have another pair, I won't be so afraid, so I can actually stunt and look fresh and have a second pair sort of for peace of mind. I know that's not a great reason to want to buy the shoe, but I just think it's a clean colorway in general and I'm definitely going to go for it. Coming in at number 7 on the list, it's another pair of Air Jordan 1s, the Air Jordan 1 bread toes. The bread toes are essentially just the black toe ones, except this time around instead of having a white toe, they have a red toe. I mean, that's pretty much all there is to say about the shoe. Honestly, I think it's actually a cleaner colorway than the regular black toes. I mean, it's a new colorway, so it doesn't really have that same history behind it, but I think it looks fresh. I've heard from a few people that the shoe will be relatively limited. It's not going to be crazy hard to get, but it's definitely not going to be easy. I've seen the shoe a few times in person at Jordan Brand events, and I've got to be honest, the materials are actually pretty nice. This is a definite must cop for me. Coming in at number 6, it's the Air Jordan 3 Tinker Hatfield. So if you don't know the story behind the shoe, you might be wondering, why is there a swoosh on the Air Jordan 3? And that's fine. You might actually hate the way it looks too because you're just not used to it, and that's fine. The Air Jordan 3 Tinker Hatfield is the original sketch of the Air Jordan 3 by Tinker Hatfield. The shoe is relatively the same construction-wise, except for obviously the swoosh on the side. I think it's so cool that Jordan Brand is bringing this silhouette to life. I don't know how limited it's going to be. I would assume relatively limited, but overall, the story, the color blocking, and just the plain look of the shoe kind of got me, and I definitely have to try and grab it. At number 5, we've technically got 2 shoes. Well, I guess it's 2 different colorways of the same shoe, but it's the Air Jordan 8 OVO.
Hello Hello there, Seth.
I wasn't talking to you, Siri. These shoes look eerily similar to the Champagne and Confetti 8s that came out last year, and I actually heard a lot of people like those versions of the sneakers better than the new OVO versions of the shoes. And I mean, I get it, I think those shoes were awesome, but I also think these shoes are really great looking too, and I like the more subtle gold accents on the OVOs. They drop in a black and a white colorway, both with subtle gold accents. They both have OVO owl branding throughout. They're both gonna be pretty limited, and they're both gonna be pretty tough to get. But hope springs eternal, and I'm definitely gonna try and grab a pair for myself. Coming in at number 4 is another colorway of the denim Air Jordan 4s. The colorway that I'm referring to is the black denim Air Jordan 4s, and it's essentially the same exact sneaker that we got earlier this year, except in all black denim. Now, a lot of people really seem to like that colorway. In fact, some people like it more than this colorway. I definitely think that colorway is going to be easier to wear. I had a little bit of trouble wearing this shoe because I found a couple times I walked out of the house and I was wearing the same shade of denim, and that didn't really work for me, so I had to turn back around, and this whole big thing. But with the black denim pair, I just don't think it's going to be as big of a problem. The shoe most likely will be pretty limited and pretty hard to get, but if it's anything like the original denim pair, I think it's going to be a winner of a shoe. The denim material and the Levi accents really make the shoe pop and really make it a unique silhouette. And the rumored black denim version does look hot. Coming in at number 3, it's the Air Jordan 3 NRG 1988 Dunk Contest. This shoe is essentially a white cement Air Jordan 3. However, this time around, instead of your standard outsole, you've actually got a translucent blue outsole with a red stripe on the bottom of the left shoe. This shoe is obviously inspired by Michael Jordan playing in the 1988 Dunk Contest, and the red stripe is meant to symbolize where he jumped off the free throw line. However, there has been a lot of controversy online because people started to notice that if you look back at the pictures of that dunk contest, the free throw line was actually white and the floor around it was red, so maybe the outsole should have been red with a white line. But I mean, hey, it's just semantics, and I think the shoe looks good anyway. It's kind of crazy to me that we're getting a black cement 3 and a variant of the white cement 3 in the same month. I think it's actually awesome because I want to be able to grab both. But the fact that this is an NRG Air Jordan 3 tends to mean that it's probably going to be on the more limited side of things. Unfortunately, I just don't know how limited it's going to be and how difficult it's going to be to get. But if possible, I'll definitely grab a pair to review for you guys. Coming in at number 2, it's the Off-White Air Jordan 1 Triple White. I have last year's Chicago release, and I've got to say that the Off-White Air Jordan 1 is one of my favorite sneakers of all time. I know I've said this a million times, but I think it's such an excellent take on the Air Jordan 1, and I just love the way it looks. The interesting thing about the triple white version of the shoe is that apparently it was supposed to be the original release of the Off-White Air Jordan 1, and then Virgil decided to change things up and go with a more classic Chicago colorway version of the shoe. And honestly, I'm glad he did, because I think this colorway is better, at least in my opinion. I just really love red, and I love the Chicago colorway, so this is just an all-around amazing shoe for me. However, the white colorway of the shoe does look incredible. I saw it in hand at the Future of Flight event I mentioned before, and man, all the details on the shoe, the materials that they used, I mean, it's a winner. Now here's the bad news. As of right now, it's a Europe-only release. And based on my analytics, a majority of you guys do not live in Europe. And that sucks because I also really want a pair, and I just don't think I'm gonna be able to shell out the money to grab one. However, I don't think all hope is lost. A lot of times Jordan Brand and even Nike release shoes in one region first, don't announce another release, and then a couple months later they'll announce a US release or another country's release or whatever. And I really think that's what's gonna happen with this shoe. I just don't see this shoe being a Europe-only release. I think they're trying to build up hype by doing this, and I'm sure they will. And I'm sure the prices when the shoe first releases or until it's announced that it's gonna release other places is gonna be astronomical. But you know what? It is what it is. Jordan Brand knows what they're doing, and they're killing it recently. And finally, rounding out the list at a very fitting number 1, it's the Air Jordan 1 Shadow. This is one of those colorways that when it first released, no one was really feeling it. It sat on shelves, and it wasn't until a couple months later or even a couple years later that the shoe finally became one of the more coveted Air Jordan 1s. And finally, it's rumored that the shoe is retroing this year in remastered form. And if you guys watch my videos at all, you know Jordan 1s are my favorite silhouette. So this shoe is a must cop. That pretty much wraps up the list for today, guys. Make sure to leave a comment in the comment section down below letting me know what your most anticipated upcoming Jordans are. Also, make sure to leave a comment if you liked the video and want to see an Adidas version of this list. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to me, Seth Fowler, if you want to see more content just like this. And follow me on all other forms of social media. The links will be in the description below.